Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Today I get to interview Steve.heroux. Steve has risen to the top of his profession in 3 entirely separate industries: product sales, insurance, and network marketing. His achievements in the field of sales and sales management are rarely matched, and his ability to help even the average salesperson achieve success is unparalleled. After 20 years of success and more than $15 million in sales generated, Steve has realized that his ultimate calling is to share with the thousands of others what he's done and how he's done it. But more importantly, teach them how they can achieve their ultimate dreams and goals in the sales industry. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Steve.heroux to the show. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Alicia. Thanks so much for having me. Really excited to talk with you today.
This will be fun. So, I know I gave a pretty decent introduction, but can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and your business experience, or if I missed anything?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for the kind intro. Originally from Boston, grew up there and spent the first 30 years of my life in the cold and the ice, and came from a middle-class family. Dad was a truck driver. Mom was an office assistant, and remember Dad just working really, really hard, working nights, busting his butt, ended up getting hurt on the job, and company didn't want to pay his workers' comp. So my dad was actually out of work for 2 years with nothing. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall that I didn't want to really work for somebody else and wanted to create my own income so I didn't have to rely on that. And as a kid, I was always active in sports and athletically gifted, but not very good with people. I was really quiet. In middle school and high school, no dates, no proms, didn't want to talk to anybody, sat in the corner, and you would never, ever think that I would have ended up in sales. And it was funny, went to my high school reunion the first time and told people I was a sales manager, and they kind of laughed. And they're like, "You are a sales manager? You didn't say a word in high school." And what was funny is freshman year in college, I was looking for a job to just have some pizza and beer money, and I found a little ad that said sales and service, and went in and found out it was selling kitchen items, and ended up going home telling my dad that I got a job. And they said, "What is it doing?" And I said, "Selling knives." And he said, "No, really, what's the job?" And I said, "No, it's selling knives." And he said, "Nobody's going to buy that stuff. That's stupid. What a waste of money. It's expensive." And I said, "Well, Dad, I'm going to try it, and I need $200. And so he said, "All right, go ahead." And it was funny. I had never sold anything in my life, and ended up as the #1 sales rep in New England over my freshman break, and stayed with the company a couple years through college. And in my senior year of college, ended up #1 in the country for college students in sales. And so I kind of realized that I liked sales and had a gift for it. And, then I moved on to insurance after that, spent 13 years with a $100 billion company, and ended up setting the rookie record for sales in New England with that company, and involuntary benefits. And also, luckily, I got to #1 in the country a few years later out of about 50,000 agents. And so had a lot of success in the insurance industry, and decided I would try something new and try my hand at network marketing, and, just as a challenge to see if I could do it. And last year ended up number 18 out of about 5,000 people in my position. And so, having reached the top in 3 different industries now, and in the last 20 plus years of success in sales, I really feel like I have the knowledge and experience to share and teach others how to be successful in sales. And that's really the most rewarding part. Seeing other people win now is just so much more rewarding than seeing myself win. So hope that gives you a little background about my experience.
No, it does. And it kind of brings me to my next question, which is, what made you want to become a sales coach?
Kind of sort of that last part, frankly, I get so much more enjoyment and satisfaction out of helping other people have success than I ever did for myself. Just seeing them have small wins, the success stories, the self-confidence improvements in our clients is really what drives me every single day. And ultimately, is the reason I became a professional sales coach.
So who do you help and how do you help them?
So we help independent sales professionals and small businesses and franchise owners by coaching them on the most basic of business principles, which is sales, of course. And, we work with insurance agents, real estate agents, financial planners, solar reps, really any type of independent sales professional. And the reason we call it next level sales coaching is because there's always another level you can reach. If you make 50,000 a year now, let's help you get to 80,000. If you make 100,000 a year now, let's help you get to 200,000. If you're making 250,000, let's help you make 500,000. There's always another level you can go up, and there's always somebody that's already doing it, so we know it can be done. We're not the cookie cutter, one size fits all, sales training system. We delve into your specific situation to help you accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. And, we do that through mindset training, through self-confidence, through language, teaching you current consumer behaviors and interactions for 2017. Because you need both mindset and sales skills, or it's not going to work for you. You could be the best salesman in the world, but if you don't believe that you are, you'll never be successful. And conversely, you could have a bulletproof mindset. Nothing could bother you. But if you don't have sales skills, you're not going to have success either. So that's kind of how we help people. We get both mindset coaching and sales skills coaching to help people get to the next level. And you think about it, for example, you went into a doctor's office and she just looked at you and said, "Hey, Alicia, here, just take these 4 Valium." The second they see you, you'd probably think that there's something wrong there. And that's what we see a lot of the sales training that's out there, that they just give you this training, here, take this, do this, without even really figuring out how they can help you. And that's the difference between coaching and training. We coach on 2017 language, behavior, questions, versus the training that's out there is really old school techniques that worked in the 80s or 90s, but that doesn't work today.
So why would somebody need to hire a sales coach?
The most successful people in the world have coaches, and many have more than one coach. Beyonce has a voice coach. Tony Robbins has a personal growth coach. Elon Musk has business coaches. If the most successful people in the world have coaches, why wouldn't you? But the challenge is, what's easy to do, it's easier not to do. So it's easy to spend a few grand on a coach, but it's easier not to. If you take, doctors or lawyers, any profession, let's take a doctor. It takes a doctor on average 7 years to become a doctor, and 200 grand, right, in schooling. The average doctor makes about 120,000 a year. So if it takes 7 years and 200 grand to make 120,000, wouldn't it make sense if you were in sales and you wanted to make 120,000 that you'll need experience, practice, learning, coaching, and able to do that? That's the reason most people are just average in sales. They've never invested time, money, effort into becoming a successful salesperson. And all the top 5%ers in sales, all of them, or should say most of them, have coaches. They didn't just do it through luck or, their special product, or just by hoping and wishing, that they were going to make 200 grand. They took the time to invest in themselves and their craft and their profession. And that's why the top 5% of salespeople earn the most income of any profession.
Well, that makes sense. So how do you think the sales process has changed in recent years? And how do you help your clients grow from just being the average or good sales rep to an effective top producing sales professional?
Boy, that's a great question. The sales process has changed, dramatically just in the last 10 years. And I guess with the explosion of social media, consumers are 10 times more educated than they were 10 years ago. And consumers today look for reasons not to trust you. They're looking for a crack in your armor. They already know more about you and your company than you do. Think about consumers now when they go to buy cars. You don't just show up on the lot and then try to get a deal. You've got graphs and charts and numbers, and you've gone to 6 different websites to find out what the average price is and the average sale and the lease and the money factors. And, consumers are so much more educated. And so really the most important thing today, how things have changed, is salespeople have to establish trust and engage with their consumers much, much more than they ever did in the past. But the problem is that most people that are in sales still go right into pitch mode right away. As soon as they start the conversation, they're talking about their features, their benefits, and so on. There's a pretty alarming number out there, and 80+% of salespeople are uncomfortable with their own sales process. Think about that number. 80+% are uncomfortable with what they do every day as a salesperson. How would you ever expect to have success? Think about the bed you sleep in every night. If it was extremely uncomfortable, hard, lumpy, short, how long would you continue to sleep in it? Weeks, months, years? Change is never easy, but if you don't change, you'll always be in the same place that you are today. And so the main reason that those 80% of salespeople are uncomfortable is because of the way that they were raised to think about sales, what they were taught, what they learned. And the challenge is that they were taught techniques, that were used 20 or 30 years ago that just don't work today with today's consumers. And, those of us in sales, we all know ABC, always be closing, Glengarry, Glen Ross. It's funny, but, how does it make you feel, when you're being closed or when you're being sold? It's not a good feeling. And so the top 5%ers, how they go from average to good to being a top producing sales pro is that they've learned the right skills, the right mindset that other people have just not learned and not been willing to learn. That's really where coaching makes the big difference. So to go back to answering your question, how to become a top producer from just an average sales rep is you've got to do what the top producers do. And they study their craft, they learn, they have coaches that teach them the effective techniques, that work in 2017.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And so what do you think? Because most people I think in life need a coach, whether it be life or personal or, a business coach or sales coach. But what do you think the top 2 reasons why people resist from hiring a coach?
Top 2 reasons I would say are fear and fear. It's the same. Everything in life that we don't do is ultimately about fear. What if it doesn't work? What if I spend money on a coach and I don't see an ROI right away? It's natural to have concerns about something that you've never done before. Skydiving. Obviously, most people don't go skydiving because of fear. Your middle school dance, right? I was so afraid, right, to go to those dances because I was afraid people would laugh at me because I didn't know how to dance. So if you dip your toe in the pool, you're not going in. Think about the people that are at, pool parties. The ones that seem to have the most fun are the ones that just jump in the pool. They don't think about it. They don't test the water. They don't dip their toe in. They just jump. And so with no risks, obviously you're never going to have rewards, but the risk of hiring a sales coach for a few $1,000s, far outweighs the risk of staying average for the next 20 years. But the big part is it's the lost income from not hiring a sales coach that could reach into the hundreds of thousands or millions over your career. And so that's really the biggest challenge is people are just afraid, well, what if it doesn't work? As opposed to the top, again, 5%ers that say, this is going to work because this is what top producers do.
what is your sales process and how are you different from the 5,000 coaches I can find daily on LinkedIn?
Great question. Even though this sounds simple, it's really about spending time with our clients, understanding their real feelings about sales, their hangups, right? What's their current sales process? What language do they use? And what are some of the areas that they're falling short? Just to go back to the doctor analogy, I can't diagnose somebody if I don't know their symptoms. And the challenge is a lot of the coaches and trainers that are out there, they're just giving a diagnosis, a blanket diagnosis, before even talking to people about their situation. And it's very simple. It could be a few words in their presentation. It could be their body language. It could be their limiting beliefs, their lack of self-confidence. It could be their follow-up system, the way they ask for referrals, their customer appreciation. We dive into those areas of focus right away and start the process of helping them change their thoughts and behaviors. And you'd be surprised, a few very small adjustments to mindset or the systems that people currently are using, we can show clients really how simple it is to be great at sales. And I think another way that we're different from other trainers and coaches out there is our history of success. My business partner, Jesse's got 15 years of running successful businesses and mindset coaching. He's one of the most successful mindset coaches I've ever had and I've used. And with my 20 plus years of success in sales and sales management, and having been at the top of 3 entirely different industries, we know we can help. And I think the reason our clients love working with us is because they know that we have the knowledge, we have the ability. We have a proven track record of success and the belief that we can help almost anyone improve their results in sales. And, we don't spew crap we got from the internet or, teach people some sales selling system, from the 80s and 90s. We didn't just take a class or join a franchise and now we're magically a coach. That's why I think our clients use us and trust us. And they know for a fact from the very first interactions we have is we have their best interest at heart. And it's really about what they want to accomplish, not our agenda or what we want to accomplish.
That makes sense. So can you talk to me a little bit about what do you think the biggest maybe myth, I'm losing my voice, but myth or misconception about working with a coach?
So another great question. I think the biggest misconception is that if somebody hires a coach, they're going to immediately see an ROI right away. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that in coaching. And frankly, it doesn't work like that in anything. Whether you're learning a new language or mastering a martial art or achieving any success in any aspect of your life, everything takes time, takes effort. But the most important factor is that it takes a commitment and a willingness to change. It takes 66 days to change a behavior. So we work with clients for a minimum of 2 months for that exact reason. We don't have any long-term contracts or anything like that. We work together for 2 months so we can prove our worth to our clients. And if they see value, then we deserve, again, their business and to continue working with them. And so if they take our coaching seriously, that we design together, again, we build programs with our clients together to help them achieve the results they want. They're going to see serious results in a short time if they implement it and if they commit to taking action. If they take no action and they have no commitment, obviously they're going to get no results. And so, we live in a microwave society. I mean, people want results now. But if our clients can't commit or they're not willing to change and grow, we just don't work with them and they won't hire us.
Well, I'd like to actually kind of switch gears a little bit and talk to me about how do you help small businesses or franchises, with their whole team?
So, what I love most about coaching small businesses and franchises is that they're the lifeblood of American business, and we love helping them achieve success. Most, however, fail to realize that without sales, you don't have a business. think about people that want to start a business, just, I don't know, a plumber or something, right? You got a plumber that's been with his company for 25 years and he knows everything about plumbing, can fix anything, anytime, anywhere. And he says, you know what, I can do this. I can start my own plumbing business instead of working for somebody else. The problem is that the plumber doesn't understand how to run a business. He can do the job, but he doesn't know how to sell the job. And the most important part of getting jobs is selling jobs. And so that's where you have a lot of small businesses fail, because they never learned how to sell. They never learned how to get and retain customers. Think about it like a franchise. The reason we work with franchises is a lot of people just think that they can just buy a franchise and that, boom, customers will come rolling through the doors. It just doesn't work like that. And, many franchises will train on their particular systems and processes, but they don't have the ability or history of success or knowledge and sales skills to teach to other people. They can teach a system, right, how to do the process, but they don't know how to sell the system. And so if you really have never been taught how to ride a bike or how to swim, how could you possibly teach other people how to do that? That's why most businesses end up failing. And again, about 4% of businesses are around after 10 years. And by being around, I mean they're still in business. It doesn't mean they're thriving. It just means the doors are still open. So you've got to take the time and invest in yourself and your business in the beginning of your career, when you start your business. And that way you'll never have to worry about consistency in sales because you'll know how to do it. You've got to hire experts in the areas you are not an expert in. I love what Steve Jobs said. It really drives home this point, but he said, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and then tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. So knowing what you're good at and knowing what you're not so good at can really be the determining factor in the ultimate success of your sales career or your business.
So if you had one piece of advice for an individual, maybe a small business or a franchise to help them, increase their sales and their teams, what would that be? Something they could implement now.
Simple. Hire an expert. Hire people that are good at what you're not good at. It's what the best and most successful people and companies already do today. And you should probably do the same thing. Whether it's an athlete, a singer, a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, it doesn't matter, a salesperson. You've got to follow what successful people do, and you've got to put in place people that know what they're doing, that have already done it, so they can show you what they did. I have two coaches personally. My business partner, Jesse, does as well. So, what does that tell you? When coaches have coaches, you've got to understand that it works and it's going to be beneficial. And so that would be the one piece of advice I would give, is just hire experts, hire people that are better at the things you're not good at. And therefore your business is going to skyrocket.
That makes sense. Definitely. And that kind of actually brings me to my final question. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you for your services, how would they go about doing that?
Respectfully, I'd love to have a quick dialogue or conversation first, with myself or Jesse, before we even determine if we can help somebody. Should anyone out there see value in having a brief conversation, they can reach us in several ways. Our phone number is 858-822-9893. Once again, guys, area code is 858-822-9893. They can reach us on our website, which is nextlevelsalescoaching.com, just like it sounds and spelled out. Our email address is support@nextlevelsalescoaching.com. We can also be reached on LinkedIn. You can search for Steve Heroux, that's Heroux, or you can search for Jesse Martin. So yeah, thanks again so much, Alicia, for the opportunity to share with you my passion for coaching. And thank you all for taking the time to listen. And we really look forward to helping any of you in any way we can. So again, thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. I love the information. You're very passionate about, what you do. You have a ton of experience. Your business partner's name is Jesse, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Jesse Martin.
Great. And you guys work as a team, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the best way to give people the best of both worlds, where they can get mindset coaching from a master and then they can get the sales coaching from myself.
Well, that's awesome. It seems like you guys have a really good program put together.
We love it. We love helping people. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you guys what we do.
Well, it's my pleasure. All right, guys, you just heard from Steve Heroux, and this is your host, Alicia DeBrell from Insight Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.